Wow, and hello, good morning, and welcome to It's Within Your Reach, the Total Mind Fitness Wellbeing Workout. And we are on the U of the T.R.I.U.M.P system. The U is upskill your skills on plan the work and work the plan. We all need a plan for life. But how do we do that? How do we plan? Are we just wandering from event to event in our life, just responding and reacting to whatever happens? Or do we have a life's direction with goals in place and flexibility? That's what we're talking about today. So hello to everybody. We are on the Trauma to Triumph system, taking ourselves forward in life, building a higher quality life. That's what it's all about. We're on the U of the Triumph system. We went through from transforming our habits and our behaviors. We've, talked about resiliency and interpersonal relationships, and they're all available in past videos on this course. But now we're on the U. And upskilling us on planning the work and working the plan. So what is that all about? And, in the meantime, while we're talking, please say hello with your name in the comments. Do you have a plan for life? Do you know where you're going and how to get there? Give us your comments, give us your ideas on that, and what might the difficulties be for you in that. Just stick your name in the comments. Let's see who's here and how much we can build this community together. We can help each other. We can comment on each other. At the moment, we're all in lockdown in the UK, but the idea is that we'll start running events and we'll get together and the idea is to build a nurturing society. And we can do that by helping each other. But we can also do that by having a plan, having a direction in what to go on. And so what we are talking about today is plan the work and work the plan. And we have an amazing week for you regarding this. This was originated by Norman Evans, and Norman Evans hopefully will be with us in tomorrow's It's Within Your Reach program at 11 a.m. UK time. So we've invited Norman Evans on to give us a little bit of an inside view on how he developed the plan, the work the plan. It was developed for the business world, and I'm transferring it now into the personal development side of what we want to do in life. And I think it has amazing lessons that we can take forward. So that's tomorrow. We're going to be talking to Norman Evans. And we have an extra special guest too on Thursday. We will be bringing media and worldwide famous psychologist Sandy Mann, who will be talking to us about the creativity that's born out of the fertility of boredom. Wow, you've heard me talk about this before on this show, about how boredom at the moment gets bad press. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, as if it's like a bad thing. But Sandy Mann comes and says, out of 20 years of research, boredom, if we have the right mindset, can actually be fertile ground for great creativity. Wonderful. So what about that mindset? Well, the first thing we're going to have to get is into a mindset of creativity for our own lives. And what does it look like, our life? I mean, whatever thought, where am I going? What's my life looking like? Where do I want it to end up? It's something that we tend not to do because we're so busy, right? We're busy dealing with stuff, okay? So that stuff might just be, what am I going to have for my next meal if we're on that level? How am I going to pay the bills at the end of the month? How am I going to get a job? We'll take Maslow's, bottom level. It's about, survival. It's about, can I get a roof over my head? Can I get food in my stomach? Can I get clothes on my back? So we might be on that level, but we're busy dealing with that. We could be dealing with other things. We could be totally engrossed in our work and deadlines, projects, assignments, well, not only students get assignments, but you could be in work and you're getting an assignment and, I've got to have this done by tomorrow morning and I'm up all night, or, I've got children and I've got to take them to school, or I've got to homeschool them, or I've got to, get them new clothes, or I've got to take care of this kid when this kid's not feeling well. And we're busy. We live busy lives. And we don't tend to give ourselves that time to say, what is my life looking like? And what do I want it to look like? And how will I recognize it when it comes? Right? So if we're working towards a high quality life, we want to examine what will make my life higher quality, right? That doesn't matter whether it's your personal life, your family life, your business life, your recreational life, your social life. What kind of life do I want to have? And how will I know that I've got it? What are the signs? Where is it I want to be when I know when I've arrived? If I don't know where I'm going, I don't know when I've arrived there, right? And if I'm living my life just from pillar to post, just from whatever happens, that is an option, but we have to take into consideration in that option that we might go down a road that's not necessarily in our best interests. It might take us down a road that we're not really planning for, so we're not really living our full potential. It might take us down a road of abuse of ourselves or of others. And it's not always intentional abuse. Abuse can happen just because we're living without thinking about what we're living about. So we can abuse our bodies, we can abuse our health, we can abuse our behavior towards ourselves and towards other people. If we're not going in a particular direction of what's important to me, then anything goes. And if anything goes, we're living in a very uncertain world. If anything goes, we're living in a very scary world because we're not moving in a particular direction that we feel is important for us. And so we don't know what's going to happen any minute. There's a famous saying by an old 16th century Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz of Tzfat. It says, the end result starts with a thought. And it's absolutely true. Look around you. Wherever you are right now, look around you. And apart from natural things like trees or the weather or whatever it is that belongs to nature, everything else around you that's made by a person, that includes the medium that you're watching me on right now or listening to me on right now, the table, the chair you're sitting on, the building that you're in, the roads that you're walking on as you listen to this, the car that you're driving, everything that's made by a human being started with a thought. It was first created with a thought in their head. It was designed in their head. It was designed using that wonderful skill we have of imagination, using our mind. And once it was created there, that thought, then it was verbally expressed in some way, and then created materialistically. And now we use it. The end result starts with a thought, and that's what we're talking about, materialistic things. So if we go through all that trouble to invent a car or a computer or a table or a chair or a pen or a pencil or whatever, why not take that trouble to see what kind of life we want to have? I mean, our life is priceless and we have so much potential, and we can make it so much more in a qualitative way, in an enjoyable way, satisfactory way. Why suffer if we don't need to? It doesn't mean we won't have any pain. Pain goes with life. That's part of it. But extra suffering, why do we need extra suffering? So we need to have the mindset. We need to start with that mindset of, I want to think about what I want to do with my life. I want to be able to plan flexibly, building in for change, building in for unknown and unexpected, but have a direction that I want to go in, and build milestones on the way, build goals on the way, knowing that they might or might not materialize, but at least we'll be living a life where we can invest in it, knowing that it could possibly reap fruits. So Norman Evans designed the plan, the work, the plan system, which we've incorporated into the Triumph system. And that is, first of all, think about, what do you want to do? First of all, plan it. Think it out. Verbally express it. Understand what your values are, what's important to you in your life. Understand how you want to see your life. And once we have all these parts in place, then we go out and work it. Then we go out and live it. And we live the plan. Right? Building in for flexibility, building in for change, building in for going in different directions, building in for changing the plan. It's all right. So what we want to do, first of all, is verbally express what my life looks like in a meaningful way. Okay, we want to build meaning and purpose into our life. We've discussed this before. We want to build a life of high quality. Now, high quality is specific to each and every individual. Okay, it's a subjective thing, not an objective thing. It's not anything to do with what anyone thinks my life is. It's not got anything to do with what the world thinks if I'm living a high quality life or not. It's what I consider as a subjective being, how I want my life to be, how I want to play out this time that I have. So if I want to play it out and get to materialize the full potential that I have here, the full potential to learn, the full potential to contribute, the full potential to build something of value for me, according to my values. Now, my values might incorporate other values. My values might incorporate society values. My values might incorporate my traditional values. My values might incorporate family values. My values might incorporate business values, business ethics, work ethics, family ethics, whatever it is. It doesn't mean my values have to be different than all these, but it means that I have absorbed them and made them mine. I have taken ownership of the values that I live in my life. And I don't go around saying, oh, you know what? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in this. This is what's making me do this. They're making me do that. They're making me do this. How are you living your life? What are you coming up with? What are you putting in and investing in the quality of your own life? Now, I wasn't born knowing this. I was educated by my teachers. I was encouraged by my mentors to also plan the work and work the plan. And one of my mentors is Norman Evans, who designed this part. And I have many more teachers and mentors, and I still have them around me today. And that is really important when you're doing this, to have that team, to have your own personal team, to have your mentors, your teachers, your elders, your wise ones, the people that you can discuss with, the people that you can bounce ideas off with. And that's why community is important. That's why It's Within Your Reach program wants to build part of that as community, which is the P, the peer-to-peer system that we'll get to eventually. But it's important to build your personal team, and you decide who's on it. And on my team, I have my mentors and my teachers who help me plan my life, plan my work, and help me work my life, work my plan. It's not a just me system. It's a me system allowing others to help me, allowing me to contribute to others, and helping me mold that verbally expressed life that I want to live. So I know when I get there. So for me, I want to live a life that is contributing to others. I want to live a life that's caring for myself and for others. I want to live a life that there's love involved. Love meaning I allow others to love me and I love others. It's a life meaning that I want to have a life that is curious and learning and adventurous, and I'm able to have the courage to go into the unknown. I want to have a life that produces something. I like creating and producing along with others, not just for myself, but with meaning and purpose behind it. And so I want to build a life that has meaning and purpose. But I have to have the right mindset for that. So first of all, I want to have the direction before the goals, before the milestones. Okay? So I need to know where I'm going. And these values, these things that are important to me, are my compass. And along the road, I want to have my relationships. I want to have my finances. I want to have my work. I want to have my friends. I want to have my teachers. I want to have my learning. There are goals along the way that will take me in that direction. But if I don't have a direction, then one day my goal might be this, and the other day my goal might be that. And I'm all over the place. Now, if that's fine, if that's the kind of life that one chooses, then that's fantastic. But if we're finding that we would rather have a higher quality life, we'd rather have a better quality life, and that might mean a better quality of health, it might mean a better quality of joy in our life, it might mean a better quality of social aspects of our life, it might mean a better quality of working in our life, business in our life, whatever it is. We need a direction first, and then we put in the goals. We're walking through a forest, we need to know where we want to get to, and then we go according to, so we'll go to that tree, and then from that tree I go to this tree, and from this tree I go to that tree. If we're wandering around the forest and we don't know where we're going, then we're going to be going around in circles and circles, and we don't, every route will take you there, as they say. If you don't know where you're going, every route will take you there, but who knows where you're going to end up. So first of all, we want to build direction into our lives. We'll build direction into our lives, then we'll see which milestones, which goals we want to reach. Building in at all times flexibility, that we might change direction and then our goals will change. And that's really important, because that's what people sometimes we miss. We have goals without a particular direction, and then time goes by and these goals might not be relevant anymore to us, but we're still pursuing them. A goal that was decided on in time in history, maybe when we were teenagers, maybe when we were older, maybe when we were younger, and now it's not relevant. Time has passed, we have changed, our life has changed, but our goal is still set, and we pursue a goal that's not relevant in our life. Wow. I know so many people that are in careers that was their goal from when they were young teenagers. And they find at 50 years old, they're like, what was I doing? I hate being in this position. I hate going to work every day. I'm miserable. And these people might have invested and did invest many, many years of learning, and now they're miserable. And once they update their goals, they start to pursue in the direction that's important to them, they can change their goals, and all of a sudden their life becomes higher quality. Wow, how did that happen? There's no magic in this. So we need to remember to revisit our goals and see, are they in line with the direction that I want to live? And if we're in that mindset, we're going to build for ourselves a higher quality life, but we must remember to stay flexible. If we're going to try and control everything, or we're going to be rigid to any change, then it's not going to be the most useful and adaptive method for a high quality life. We've got to remember that change happens in this life, whether we like it or not. It's unavoidable. And if we are not going to change with the change and readapt ourselves, then we might maladapt ourselves, which means we might start doing things that are not in our own best interests, that are not suitable for the environment that we're in now, and that we might damage ourselves because of it. And that's something we really don't want to do. We don't want to damage ourselves out from living this life. Why? Why damage yourself when we can really improve it, really make it better, really have a life of value, really have a life of high quality? We have that possibility. It is within our reach. We can do it. This is not called the trauma to triumph system for nothing. We might be in a situation where it might not be complete trauma, or it might be complete trauma, but it's a place of distress, and we can take ourselves from distress to triumph. We really can. So this system is built to bring everything within your reach so that you can also build that life of value that you want. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to check our ego at the door. We need to understand that not everything is just about me and how I feel and how what I want. And I, me. If we do that, then we're going to get ourselves in trouble. If we do that, we're going to, as we'll see later on, we're going to believe our own marketing. We're going to believe our own stories. We've got to be careful of that. We've got to be careful not to provoke the world, not to provoke other people, and not to be provoked, because the world will try and provoke us. people will try and provoke us. The first thing that happens, okay, tell me in the comments if you want, the first thing that happens when we get a new idea and we tell somebody, usually the first thing that'll happen is they'll tell us why we shouldn't do it. Right? Oh, I think I've got a great idea. I want to do this. Well, what about this? You know, think about that. The first thing to say is very rare that we go, wow, fantastic. Let's go for it. I'll help you. What do you need from me? It's, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Okay. And that can really sometimes provoke us. And then we get all defensive. And then we start arguing. And if we're not careful, that arguing can roll down a slippery slope. And we can eventually fall out with somebody. So don't provoke and don't be provoked. Don't be a provoker and don't be a provokee. Understand how we work. Somebody says something we don't like. Understand we're going to have thoughts about that. We're going to have emotions about that. We're going to have physical feelings about that. Learn to manage them. We can manage them because we teach it here on this Within Your Reach Triumph course. How to manage our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and our body sensations so that we're not provoked. And don't go around provoking others. All right? If you've got something to say that's subjectively critical, fantastic. So warn them in advance. Ask them if they want your advice. You know, we go around giving advice willy-nilly. I try very, very hard not to give any advice, and certainly not on this program. What I tell you is what I've experienced on my own back, what I do with my life, and if that will inspire you, then that's great. If that will encourage you, then I'm all for it. If I can help you in any way, I will. But to tell you what I think of you, no, you're amazing. That's the best I can tell about you. You're unique and you're amazing. And you can contribute to this world just as well as any other person. Okay? But to advise you, if you want my advice, then, and you give me permission to give it to you, then yeah, I'll give you what I think. Whatever it's worth. Might not be worth anything to you. How do I know how you work? You're the expert in your life is you. You want my opinion? I'll give you my opinion. But only after I have your permission. So we need to check our ego at the door, and we need to be careful who we're going around provoking in this life, and to learn not to be provoked. We've got to remember that we can language into existence our own life. We really can, and we really need to do that. We need to verbally express it. Which direction am I going in? What is it I want to do with my life? What qualities do I want to bring to my life? What qualities do I want to bring to my life? Wow. You can bring quality no matter what or where you are or what situation you're in your life. You are able to bring quality into it. Sometimes we really don't feel it. I've been in really dark places. And that's why we need our team to remind us that we can bring quality into our life. And we need to language that into existence. We need to verbally express what's important to us. But we have to remember not to believe our own publicity and say, all right, and I've verbalized it. That's it. Everything's going to be okay. No. First of all, we have to learn not to stand in our own way, because our mind is going to come up with all the reasons why we shouldn't do things. All the reasons. You've got no time. You've got no money. You don't have the ability. You don't have the intelligence. You're not competent. You're not self-confident. Oh, your mind will come up with lots of things. My mind has come up with all of them at one point or another. We've got to be careful not to let ourselves stand in our own way. It's really important to be realistic and manage our expectations. All right? Yeah, you can do anything, but be realistic about it. Okay? You have to understand your physical abilities, your mental abilities. All right? There's certain things that it's impossible to do if you don't have a specific physical ability or mental ability. Right? We're not all running at 100%. So we have to manage our expectations realistically in order to achieve what we want to achieve in this life. It doesn't mean our life has to be low quality. No, it can be super high quality, but for what I have as potential. We all have different potential. And at the end of the day, it's really important to, well, as they said in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the movie, shoot, don't talk. I mean, we've got to commit and we've got to act. It's not just about verbally expressing stuff. It's about doing. As you know from all my teachings, at the end of the day, action is what counts. Right? You've got to commit and you're going to go out and do it. And when we do that, it's not always easy. And we have to learn perseverance. And we have to learn to commit and act even when it's really uncomfortable. But we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to do all the discovery from beginning on our own experience. We can learn in two different ways. One is we learn from our own experience. And that is a very, very strong, powerful, and efficient way. But we can also learn from others. Look, I'll give you an example. When you're teaching a child to cross a busy road or any road, do you want them to learn from their experience, or do you want them to learn from being taught? Okay? Now, if you want them to learn from the experience, you say, look, that's the road. There are the cars. Off you go. Let's see what happens. There's a good chance that they're going to be run over and killed, or severely injured, or severely shocked, because they have no idea how they're supposed to do it. Or you can teach them. Stop at the curb, look this direction, look that direction, look and listen. And when it's safe, start to cross, keep looking and listening. Halfway across, then you cross the next half, and you teach them. So when you're planning your life, you don't have to reinvent the wheel and experience everything before you decide what's good and bad for you. You can have mentors. You can have teachers. You can see what others are doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel for everything. So what we're talking about is the planning of the work, the mindset of the work. And then we want to know how we're going to put that into action. But a lot of it has to come from inside you. What is the best way for you to put your own life into action? Hopefully we'll learn that from Norman Evans tomorrow.
Disclaimer, this show is not therapy, nor a replacement for therapy. Should you wish to inquire about therapy, counseling, life, or executive coaching, please contact Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman at factcpfa@gmail.com. factcpfa@gmail.com. Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman is a highly experienced psychotherapist, executive business coach, and author of the book, Mind Over Terror. 3 weeks, 2 cities, 1 mission. With over 10,000 hours of experience and academic degrees in government, law, clinical social work, and a postgraduate diploma in psychiatry with distinction, Dov has the background to help you. He's also available for public speaking and corporate training.